All right, so I only want you guys to pay attention if you want to make money. If you don't want to make money, I want you to talk to your friends. Is that fair? Is that fair? All right, so here's the reality is some people don't like dealing with money. A lot of people are actually really afraid to make money. Did you guys know that? Has anybody ever handed you money and you're like, oh no, I can't take that? Anybody? Right? So there's this weird thing in us that makes us feel weird and feel bad when we receive something, even if we worked for it. Now, who doesn't have a problem taking money at all? All right. Please, thank you. Yeah. All right, so that's awesome. So I signed up for restaurant management. I'm gonna go beyond that a little bit, talk about general entrepreneurship. Does anybody know what the word entrepreneur means?
Business owner?
A business owner, that's, yeah, one of the definitions. Anybody know? Entrepreneur, we're gonna spell it. This is an insane word. There's too many letters. So this is the short way to spell it right here, okay? And the long way is right here. Look, there's an E there. Something like that. What does that say? All right, so that's why we do this. You guys ready? All right. That's pretty simple, right? You guys know. So the word entrepreneur comes from, it's a French word, and it means one who's willing to carry the weight. So when you start a business or a project or a nonprofit or a ministry or anything, there's some weight, there's something that has to come with that. If you're not willing to carry the weight long term, you're not gonna make it. Has anybody ever been to a gym? Half you guys haven't been to a gym before? Come on. Did you have gym class? All right, so the people who are the big buff dudes, they are probably willing to carry the what? So if somebody comes up and they do 3 curls and it's like, oh, I don't really like this. And they put it down and walk away and they go to McDonald's, right? How do they look after a while? It's probably not the same, right? Probably not the same. So you guys, you're scrolling through socials, throwing through Insta, whatever, and you're seeing these people with seemingly like perfect bodies. You're seeing people on vacation, they're in their private jets, they've got awesome cars, they're doing whatever they want, right? They're always in water for some reason. You notice that? You know, you're like, what? You're always in a pool? You just live in there? Like it's all fun and games, so you know that like 50% of people pee in pools, and you're like, maybe that's not what I want to do with my life. But these people, we look at these people and like, what did they do? What did they do to make so much money? What did they do to travel? What did they do to look so good, to wear such nice clothes, to be so popular? Like, so just somebody name a famous person. Like, what's the most famous person you can think of?
Steve.
What? I don't. You're covering your mouth while speaking. Okay, go ahead. Who else?
The Rock.
So Rock, Jimmy Fallon. Someone say Jimmy Fallon. Thank you. He's one of my favorites. He's hilarious. All right, what else? Nobody knows any famous people. You never heard of any celebrities?
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester. You got all the good ones, man. You can say Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was my next one.
Oh, all right. Who's next? How did they get that way? How did Arnold get so big?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. All right. We covered like 3 bald guys. That's great. So there was Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually watching an interview with him yesterday, and they said, "So what do you do every day?" And Arnold goes, "Well, I go to the gym." He goes, "You've already won Mr. Universe. You're already famous for acting and for being so fit. Like, why are you still going to the gym?" So that's who I am. He goes, he says, "Why was I eating 10 years ago? Why was I sleeping 20 years ago? Why was I in the gym 30 years ago?" Arnold is very old. Arnold Schwarzenegger is very old, but he's in the gym because that's who he is. So he's changed who he was to who he is, and that's helped him become so successful in politics, in movies, in acting, and being Mr. Universe, which takes a lot of lifting of the weights. So many people dream of owning their own business, right? So who wants to maybe someday be your own boss? Like, who loves to be told? And for everyone with their hand down, that means you love to be told what to do, right? Right? Who loves to be told what to do? Now, who loves to be told that you're doing something wrong? So this is the crazy thing. So people who are really good and successful at business are okay with being told they've done something wrong. You ever gone to someone and you gotta be like, really, you gotta like walk on eggshells, like, hey, I'm so sorry. What's your name?
David.
David, man, I'm so sorry, man. I know you didn't mean to, but I just noticed you passed gas a little bit, and kid in the tie dye, he's now dead, and I know it was on accident, right? So David didn't really do it, by the way. It was this kid right here. He fucked. But it's not about that. It's about being able to be corrected. When somebody is trying to correct you, they actually are trying to do what's best for you, right? So it's no fun when your parents like, hey, you need to clean your room or whatever, right? Do your homework, whatever, right? It's no fun. But if they didn't care about you, they would just say, yeah, go to school and eventually you're done or whatever, go work at Walmart. If they didn't care about you, that's the life they want for you. But a good parent would want what's best for you. So starting your own business. What we're gonna do is we're gonna actually create a business today, not a real business, but for fun. So I want 3 people to tell me what kind of business they would start. Something they love.
My own restaurant.
A restaurant, okay?
Like a clothing/jewelry store.
Clothing, jewelry store, awesome. Was it with your hand up? Or, I don't know what she's doing. I don't know if you raise your hand up or you just look at your nails. What? With the headphones. Okay, okay, David, right here. I'm not really nice, so if you guys do something crazy, I just call you out and embarrass you, just let you know. What's up?
I like to own a gym.
A gym? All right, speaking of being willing to carry the weight. So we've got a restaurant, so what we're gonna do is 95% of businesses close within the first 5 years. So the 3 people that wanna start business, can you guys sit right up here? So David's already here, right next to David. He's fine, he'll be okay without you for 10 minutes. All right, so, you wanna start a business too? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna test you guys out, ask you guys questions, I'm gonna give you hard scenarios, and only one of you is gonna own a business by the end of this conversation. You ready? Is this crazy? You guys thought I was just gonna talk at you and you were gonna zone out, listen to music, and then like have lunch? Yeah, what's with my headphones? All right, so we have clothing store and jewelry, right? And we have a restaurant and we have a gym. You guys know these are 3 amazing businesses? These are! Go back and listen to music. All right, so these are 3 great businesses. So during the COVID stuff, anybody remember that, like 2 years ago? This changed the whole world. It changed how business was done. If you weren't willing to shift and be flexible and change your business model during COVID, a lot of gyms closed down. A lot of restaurants that refused to do like DoorDash stuff and let people pick food up and deliver, they closed down. Clothing and jewelry, people were at home just ordering that stuff off of, what do you order off of now? Like Amazon, Wish, what? What? Shein?
Yeah.
Like Charlie? You don't even know who that is. What do you mean Shein? I've never heard of this.
It's
Look at it.
designer. That's a clothing brand.
Great. Half of that sounded like food. I don't know. Okay, so clothing. So now you have a clothing store, but people are at home. Yeah, you see it coming. People were at home ordering their stuff online. So people aren't walking into your shop anymore. Like, what do you do?
I go online.
Okay. So all of a sudden you got into fashion, but now you're into web building, you're into e-commerce, you're into online marketing, you're trying to figure out how to close deals online, and you're competing with everybody else selling online for half the price. So that's a whole different mindset, right? Now you have to be a pro at online selling. Now, you probably didn't get into fashion and selling clothes and jewelry because you wanted to be a pro on selling online, right?
Yeah.
But you have to learn that to be successful. And the people who did made a lot more money. There was an 11.4% increase in global millionaires in 2020.
Damn. Wow.
A lot of people's businesses shut down, a lot of people lost money, a lot of people died, but there was an increase of 11.4% millionaires globally. 1 out of 10 of you decided to change your mind and shift your business and became a millionaire when the world was falling apart. Is there opportunity in anything? Yes, right? She's not listening. Okay, so we're now in the restaurant. So what do you sell?
What am I selling?
Yeah, the restaurant.
Depending on it, if depending on where I go, I'd probably go for seafood.
Okay, in Colorado, seafood is canned tuna.
I know, but like I'm saying, like depending on where I am, because like I'm supposed to be possibly moving down to Texas, and
Texas?
I want to open a business down there.
Texas is big. Where in Texas?
I I'm not sure. My parents want to be close to Galveston Island.
Okay, so
The tourist trap.
that area, Houston, all of that has major ports, right? So you can get fresh fish all the time. So that's beautiful. If you're up in like if you're up in like east to like Tyler, or if you're in like Dallas or Fort Worth, you can get fresh fish, but not as good. So that's awesome. So now you got a seafood restaurant, right? But people are staying home because they think that if they come outside of their house to get food from you, they're gonna catch a virus and die. So what do?
I let them order online.
So now you're an online expert. You have to be, right? Why did you want to run a restaurant?
Growing up, I enjoyed cooking so much with my family, and since I take the culinary program here, since I'm
Okay.
now in my second year, it's
Nice.
been so much fun, and it inspires me to like want to be out there and
That's
make people
awesome.
happy with food.
Beautiful. Now I will tell you that I have run many restaurants personally, and it kind of ruined cooking for me.
Oh, okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
When you get into the industry that you love, it may ruin it for you. One of my best friends, he's a fitness trainer. He works at the gym. He's doing fitness stuff. He's quitting right now because he's gonna cut hair.
Oh.
No.
I know friends that love cooking. I was a sous chef by the time I was like, what was I? I don't know, 21. I was a sous chef. At 18, I had my own restaurant and I was winning awards for my cooking. At 18. Okay. But I came home and I was like, I'm gonna microwave some ramen because I've been cooking all day, right? So sometimes with fashion, people get kind of upset. They're like, I love clothes and I love jewelry, but at the same time, now it's all numbers to me. It's not fun anymore. So there's the risk. So you get into a business because you love it, and then you no longer love it. So you have to be okay with that. Some people get into an industry. So Maria, my wife, she maybe didn't love cleaning toilets, but got into and created a very successful cleaning company. You guys remember when she spoke like a couple months ago? So maybe you don't love toilets, but once you start making $100,000 a year from it, you're kind of like, I kind of like cleaning toilets now. I'm totally okay with touching other people's poo-poo, right? It's weird. It gets weird. Did that get weird? Good. Film this. All right, so now we're gonna back up a little bit and we're gonna create the businesses. Like I said, one of you three is David and Kendall and Cooper. Gotta forget that. All right, so David, you want to start a gym or do you want to be a personal trainer?
I actually am a personal trainer at the moment. I got here about a month ago from Texas.
Okay.
Around the Houston
Texas?
area.
Where in Texas?
Northeast Houston, around the Katy area.
That's cool.
Yeah, whenever COVID hit and people could no longer go to the gym, or felt really comfortable coming over to my house for a session, then we just do something online. I just
Perfect.
have all the things written down with the encouragement to do it.
So to claim being a personal trainer out in a gym, you have to have some certification. So what's needed for that?
Okay, so I have to take some online courses in order to be able to be certified to do that, and one of the gyms that I was also going to was really helpful with that.
Okay.
I started off as just like a front desk assistant, and then after I took my lessons and got certified to be a personal trainer, I was looking to start doing that and switching from gyms.
I was gonna have David talk the rest of the time. This is great. I'm learning from David right now. No, okay, so that's perfect. So there's a lot of other personal trainers out there, right? And that's okay. So a lot of people get hung up on this one thing. They say, well, if I'm a new personal trainer and there's 50 guys in town with a lot of experience, a lot of following, they've got a lot of money, they really know what they're doing, how am I gonna compete with them? Okay, do you guys know the one thing that David has that the other guys don't have?
A job at the gym.
A what?
A job at the gym.
A lot of guys have jobs at gyms. What is it? Who knows?
Probably an interest in the job.
An interest? I mean, yeah, a lot of people hate it now that they're doing it, right? What else? Availability. So he's single, so that no, that's not it, right? It's that he's David. So every single person has their own, you guys don't like my jokes or what? Drink some coffee. So every person has their own individuality that makes them special, makes them unique. I don't want to say something really clear. You guys ready for this? This is one of my favorite posters. It's a picture of a snowflake. I want to get it from my house. It says, just remember, you are unique, you are individual, and you are special, just like everyone else. I love it because it's true. So we are individual, we're all special, we're all very unique, but so is everyone else. So how are you, it's not about being better, more experienced, it's about just being who you are. You guys will find out that people want to work with you because of you way more than the stuff you think that you know. So what do I know? I'm gonna go through the things that I know. So I'm an ordained rabbi. Okay, I've got a synagogue here in town. I'm dean of faculty at a university called Yeshiva Torah Institute, which is state accredited to the doctorates level. Okay, you have to do some stuff to be able to give people doctorates, right? I'm a trauma specialist. Right now I've got I counted actually over 70 something certifications and several licenses. I'm working with people, specifically kids, overcoming trauma. I've started many different businesses. I do sales and marketing for several different companies. I do a lot of different things. But if people don't like me, they're not going to want to work with me. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter how much education I have or how much money I make, or I really like this. It's like warm in the winter, like this cool coat. I like this. People think that, oh, if I dress a certain way, someone's gonna really like me. If I like the movies or listen to the music that they like, they're really gonna like me. But that's part of it, but they really don't care. They wanna know who you are as a person, and more importantly, they wanna know what you can do for them. So David is David, and 1,000 other personal trainers in Colorado are not David. Does that make sense? That's really important. Okay, so now the restaurant, you ready? How are we gonna start this restaurant? How much money do you need?
From what I've researched, most of the time when it comes down to starting up a restaurant or like buying a building that's like already sitting there like waiting to be used, it's like normally like 32,000 higher from what I found, depending on the big parts of where you're researching. Like down in Galveston, there would be like 42,000 and higher, maybe 100,000.
So,
expensive.
what do you guys know? So the average, if you're to start the average restaurant, right? Not a big restaurant, maybe you can seat 75 people, you're gonna have a decent kitchen, you're gonna have, half a dozen guys in the kitchen, you're gonna have your wait staff, you've gotta order your product, you've gotta get your licenses, train everybody, you've gotta get a liquor license if you're gonna sell alcohol. What is the average amount you need to start a restaurant? Just throw out a number. You just throw out a number, just say it 4, Now what do you think?
5.
What?
5.
$5. I would like to start a restaurant, please. That's not enough to buy lunch. 50,000. 50. That was enough. Okay, quiet people in the back. What do you think? Sleepy kid in the front. What do you think? Kid's got way too big of a beard to be in high school. What do you think? Yes. What do you think? What? That's a good guess. 150, that's a great guess. $250,000. The average restaurant is $250,000 to start. And this can be something as basic as buying a franchise from McDonald's, okay, to starting your own business. One of the biggest reasons, you got $250,000 in your back pocket, right? Right? She's crying right now. I scared her, she's crying. No. So one of the biggest things is you will not make a profit, most likely in the first 2 years. Which means you are, that's a word you don't use here, but that's a good word for that. So you're not making any money for 2 years, which means you gotta pay all of your bills, all of your staff, your management, and buy all of that food and products, everything you need for the first 2 years, usually before you're in the black and make any money. So does that sound impossible? It kind of sounds impossible, but it's not. People open a restaurant, what?
Loans, right?
There's loans, so what's your credit score? Yeah, okay. So bank loans are out of the question, right? Yeah, it's more than, you have $5 and yeah.
Do you need to have a credit score to have loans? Get loans?
What is a credit score? Credit score means is a statement saying, I'm really good with money management. That's basically what a credit score is. So when you go to a bank and say, I want a bunch of your money, they want to know how good you're going to do with their money. Does that make sense?
What if you have a credit score of 0?
Credit score of 0, I'm surprised they let you walk in a bank, So,
Yeah, it's credit score like 740 or something.
yeah, 740. Some people are crazy, get up to like 840.
That's the goal.
Craziness. 820. So, but people start businesses all the time. So one of the best ways to get in the restaurant industry is to work for a restaurant. Work for a restaurant, get up into management. If you could do some side school, get your maybe an associate's in business management, something like that is really awesome, right? And then you can start a restaurant. You can do a franchise, buy a new franchise, or you can open your own restaurant. A lot of people will open restaurants small, okay? They're gonna rent a kiosk in a mall, or they're gonna get a food truck, right? So they're gonna build up. I have some friends, they have a pierogi company. They start with a food truck, and they just started making pierogi, and they started selling them on the streets, right in front of bars or whatever. Eventually, now they have a restaurant. Now they have their wholesale license, and I'm helping them work on getting their product in bars all over the country. Now that took several years, but it's so worth it. All right, we're gonna start a clothing store. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? 5-year plan.
I think I'd probably like start off in a mall or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
He was
one.
really confident. He was really confident of that.
Probably start off in a mall and, cause you know, it's all contained, so you can basically see everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything everywhere. And so, there's not a lot of like gothic clothing,
Okay.
so that's where I wanna go towards, like that direction.
Here's what a really, Nate, your first name again?
Cooper.
Gonna forget that. Okay, so one thing about clothing that's really cool is you start off in a mall, but the evolution is eventually more online sales. The most successful clothing companies, a lot of them sell online a lot, especially right now. So crazy idea is, what if you skip the store and went straight to selling online?
Yeah.
So your overhead cost in a store, so you're in a mall, so now you're gonna pay, depending on the size of the store, for people to take you seriously, you can spend maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a month on the space. That's out of pocket before you sell anything, right? And you gotta buy the product, and then you gotta try to mark it up and sell it, right? So, and now when you rent a place, I'm gonna get to you. Forget your name. But, so when you lease a place in the mall, they're gonna want money up front. They want you to put your down payment down, maybe the last, so maybe you put $15,000 down just to rent the place, right? Now you've gotta paint it, because you're gonna want your style there. You don't want to walk around and it's got like this floor and like this wall color, right? So you want to make it all goth and cool. You want people to walk in there and be freaked out, like that goth,
Yeah.
right? People walk in and go, oh, okay, Nightmare Before Christmas was here, right? So you want them to see and feel your style, okay? So all of that money, so let's say just a flat, easy, like 40,000, right? 40,000, you can get it going. Then someone walks in and they look at the tag and they go, ugh. This is overpriced. And they walk out. How do you feel?
I kind of feel disappointed.
You just put $50,000 in this thing, right?
Yeah.
So one of the biggest skills in entrepreneurship, in being a biz owner up there, is being okay with being rejected. So in high school, being rejected is like the worst thing ever, right? Someone dumps you, what do you want to do? You don't want to go to school the next week. Have you ever been dumped before?
Yeah.
You? Yeah, 'cause she's up here. So, oh no, no, just kidding. So, she's crying now, it's okay. So, someone tells you you look fine. Someone tells you you smell fine. Someone says they don't like you. Someone says your shoes are fake. Whatever it is. In high school, it's a really big deal. So there's this guy, whether you hate him or you like him, there's this crazy guy named Donald J. Trump. Has anybody ever heard of this guy?
No.
You're already annoyed, right? You're already annoyed. So, but here's the thing. He doesn't care what you think of him. That's the crazy thing. It doesn't matter if you're Trump or you're Andrew Tate or everybody like that people love to hate, right? It doesn't matter. The one thing that they have in common, or Kim Kardashian, it doesn't matter. The one thing, the most famous and wealthy people in the world, is they don't care what you think about them. Does anybody here not like Bill Gates? Do you think he cares?
No.
No, not at all.
No. People who
I don't
really,
care that he doesn't care.
and you don't care, so you should be more successful because of that. So, but people who don't care what other people think about them truly, they have internal love and internal validation without other people, those people tend to become some of the most successful people in the world. Someone comes out and says, I don't like your product line, I don't like your prices, I'm sick of the color black. And you say,
Cool.
cool. You know what? My style's not for everyone.
What are you interested in?
buy something anyways, right? Or do you have a friend that's into goth style, right? So that's the common theme. Rejection is so important in high school. Rejection is so important in high school, but I guarantee you guys, who's your best friend? So point to your best friend. Okay?
They don't go here.
All right. So here's the reality. My best friends in high school weren't there for me when life got tough. When I was living on the streets for a year and a half, addicted to drugs and homeless in the winter, my friends were not there for me. Okay? My best friends in high school, that was like, we're ride or die. You know, like we're best friends, we're tight. They weren't there for me. And I spent high school trying to impress people who were not there for me when life got hard. And now that I'm successful, they don't like me. Some people in my own family, I call them, they go, what's going on? I'm like, oh, my music is doing this, my art is doing this, whatever it is. I'm traveling every other month. I'm in a new state. I'm traveling. I'm speaking. I published a book. I'm an award-winning national speaker. They're like, oh, that's great. I don't really want to talk about it. Those were my best friends, and they don't even want to talk to me because they are jealous and they're upset that I've become successful in their business.
My best friend.
Right? I had to cut them off and realize that I'm my best friend. I'm reliant on me. And that sounds crazy, right? But when you get older, you realize I am the most important to me. Now, I love people. I'm kind to people. I'm not nice anymore, but I'm kind to people. And I love on people. There's 2 kids here at this school that I love, and they live in my house. I don't even know why they're not here. Kind of buttheads, right now when I think about it. Where are they? They're like, he's not really nice, I'm not gonna be in there. We don't want to learn, we need to learn from him at home. But I came from a very, very poor family. Anybody come from a poor family? But a poor family will not come from me. Do you see the difference? Yes? Anybody? So we couldn't afford heat some years. We couldn't afford food. I would see my friends, we would stand in the food line at churches. You know how embarrassing that is? To stand there and you're like, so you're getting like stale bread too, huh? That's what I'm here for. It was embarrassing. Holes in my clothes. If I wanted warmth, I had to sleep in the living room because there wasn't heat. The black mold over my house. We're always sick. No food, no money. And I was like, this is it. This is my life. I'm a victim of life. That's it. My parents have no money, so I'm gonna have no money. My parents are sick, so I'm gonna be sick. My parents are poor, so my parents are, you know what I mean? They're always negative, I'm gonna be always negative. I thought that's what I had to do. And then I realized that I had to love my parents at a distance. We moved several states, they live in Oregon. We moved out of there. I was like, let me get out of here. And I don't talk to them very much because when I do, it's all negative stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing that stuff anymore. That bothers me on. So it's important to recognize that though you point at your best friend, and that's awesome, and maybe you thought of your best friend in your head or your friends or whatever, when it comes to life and death, when it comes to really hard times, they may not be there for you. And if that bothers you, then you need to build yourself up as a person. An entrepreneur is someone who is an owner of their own life. They're not a victim. They don't make excuses. They don't blame the government for their problems. They don't blame a political party for their problems. They don't blame society or the economy for their problems. They take action, they take responsibility, no matter the situation. And that's why, again, 11.4% of humans in the world, an increase of 11.4% millionaires in the world during one of the hardest times we've had in the last several years. You guys remember a couple years ago? It was insane. It was crazy. And people took the opportunity and made money. They took advantage of it. You got a question?
Oh, I was going to ask you, if you started online, how do you think you're going to prioritize your management, like put yourself out there, if you're going to do it all online?
Social
Maybe
media.
social media and like talk to family, like have them put it out there and everything.
Perfect. So that's called your warm circle. So when you're using family and friends to push your product, that is your warm circle. That's people you know. The cold circle is the people you don't know. So who buys stuff because they saw an ad on social media? Right? You're looking through stuff and you're like, I have never seen socks that do that. I gotta have these socks. These are the fuzziest looking things, and no one will know that I'm wearing fuzzy socks. unless I tell them. That's right. Like when you have the windows up and you're on the freeway, no one knows you're listening to Taylor Swift. No one knows. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. Her new album's great. Stay focused. So, a lot of people, we used to go by the mall. Anybody go to the mall anymore? Barely. Some people, right? Barely, right? Because you go to the mall, people used to go to the mall, see a big window, and this weird plastic dude or plastic person, for some reason, creepy. I hate mannequins, creep me out. Okay, and then they're wearing clothes, and you go like, oh, I need this outfit. People will love me if I get this outfit. My neighbors will think I'm cool. And then we would go in, ask how much it is, and it's too much, and we go save the money and come back and get it. So that's how I grew up. It's called window shopping.
Yep. I do that all the time.
Right? And another type of window shopping is you see it, you love it, and you walk away, and you go to Walmart and try to find something that kind of looks the same, right? Ranger Brothers closet. But today it's all about social media. So from my phone, I can order food, I can order clothes, I can buy a house, I can buy a car, and I can start a business. I can buy and sell stocks. I can check the news and go, ooh, everything's negative. I'm not gonna watch the news anymore. I can play video games on my phone. They're a huge waste of time. Anybody who's a true business owner is not playing video games right now. It's very, very important. Video games are a distraction. You guys know what are the #1 qualities, I'm gonna go a few more minutes. We'll do Q&A. One of the #1 qualities of a business owner?
That's their time wisely.
What? So
Investing their time.
time management is really important.
Being their own leader.
Huh?
Being their own leader.
Being your own leader? Ooh, that's good. 5 points for you. They're useless. Yeah. Anybody else?
Know how to save money.
Know how to save money? So money management, time management, and self-management. Management.
Putting most of their effort into their business.
Put most of the effort in the business, which there's, okay, so that's correct. That's what I'm looking for, but in one word, and it starts with an F. I shouldn't risk it with you guys. I'm just gonna focus. So focus versus distraction. So we got David's a personal trainer, and he needs to focus. So other than David, what is a distraction for David if he wants to be a successful personal trainer? What's a distraction? What's a distraction for David? If you guys are personal trainers, what's a distraction for you?
Other personal trainers.
Everyone other than David. But it's okay. You had to say something or it's getting awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
It's running out of coffee. All right, so other personal trainers. So comparing yourself to other people. That is a massive distraction. You guys know that Apple doesn't worry about what Android does? Or any other phone company? Apple only worries about what Apple does and how to make it better. Apple does not care. Who in here has an iPhone? Right? The majority of Americans now have an iPhone. They don't care what other companies are doing. Other companies are constantly trying to be as good as Apple. Apple just wants to be better than Apple last year. That's it. Beautiful. So focus on your business and making it better.
Everybody has their own specific ways of doing things. The things you do is very unique, and people will run to you because of that uniqueness.
People want uniqueness, but not too unique.
Yeah.
If you have a hammer that's like wood on the top and metal on the handle, or
I
wood
would
on the
have
handle, you're like, oh, this
several
is kind of useless. Right? Useless doesn't always mean, unique doesn't always mean useful, right? Like, oh, I made this new taco. It's a spaghetti jello taco. Everyone's gonna love it. Yeah. What? Shrimp smoothies for everyone. Right? Just because it's different doesn't mean it's great. So make sure it's great. So now with the restaurant, what is a distraction for you in doing the restaurant?
I mean, I can go off what I witnessed, because I was supposed to be running a restaurant with a family member of
Okay.
mine, and what the major distraction was the fact that my family member wouldn't put specific, like, her workers out into the field. Like, she was so distracted by trying to make sure everything was okay when she was
Oh,
supposed
no.
to, like,
Delegate.
worry about the other thing that we want.
So staying in your lane is very important. So a good business owner knows how to delegate, which means Allow someone else to do what they need to do and let them become great at it. Also let them fail at it. But an insecure person with trust issues will have to manage everything themselves. You ever heard somebody say, if I don't do it, it won't be done right? If I don't do it, it won't be done at all. That's an insecure person. Now, if it's one of your parents, don't say this out loud, okay? But that's an insecure person who is not allowing you to learn. There's this, I was listening to this podcast, and this one guy, his dad was military, he was very staunch, and whenever the kid put the milk in the fridge, the dad would go adjust it.
That's my uncle. 100%.
So what happened is the kid grew up thinking, if I can't put the milk in the fridge right, I can't make any decisions. The most powerful skill of any leader is decision making. Decision making. Whether it's right or wrong, it's like just, my dad always says we're driving somewhere. He's like, I don't care if it's wrong, just go, just do something. Turn left, turn right, I don't care where you're going, just get out of my way. He's not a patient driver, and so I'm not a patient driver. Especially Falcon. Oh my. So, woo.
Yeah.
Oy. So a distraction for you in business management, which is huge in restaurant management, because I've done this many times, is trying to do everything, right? You're in there, you're trying to make the food, you're trying to serve the customers, right?
You're trying to manage everything at once when you need to take a breath and realize that you have people that are there to support you and is able to help you. You just need to let them help you.
What was your name again? Coco or something?
Kindle, not Coco.
All right, so Kindle or iPad or whatever it is. So this is going to be very, very, very big for her in restaurant management. Okay. Clothing. Oh no. Clothing and jewelry. What is going to be the biggest distraction for you?
Other clothing and jewelry companies.
Focusing on other people,
Yeah.
what they think about you, if they're doing better than you.
Yep.
Like you're insecure.
Yeah, they're like clothes is better quality, or they're getting more sales or more customers or whatever.
Okay. How do we focus away from that?
Have pride in your work.
Yeah, have pride in your work, feel confident in what you're doing, and like, don't think about other people's clothing, like, that's their ideas, these are my ideas.
I love it.
Opinions and opinions. Yours is the most important.
So in the real world, we're gonna end with this. Then we got Q&A, and then you guys have these forms to sign. In the real world, 2 out of you 3 will fail at your business because of distraction. Right? That hurts. Then you're really not gonna like the industry you're in, right? But some of the best business owners fail and fail and fail and fail. They start a new business, they tweak it, they write a new business plan, and they keep going and they keep going.
Don't give up.
So how many times did it take Edison to invent the light bulb? He didn't, he stole it from Tesla, but we're not gonna go there. That's not in your books. Okay. The reality is, focus doesn't quit. Passion doesn't quit. Passion actually means one who's willing to suffer for something. Failure is suffering. It sucks. Who loves failing at something? You ever? No, stop. But
In my business, failures needed.
right? Well, if you push yourself and you can't lift anymore, you didn't fail, you won, right?
Pretty much.
So we've got like,
Every mistake is a learning process.
I got it. I'll pass you.
thank you. All right, so my last question before you guys can ask a couple questions is, this is just $5. What can $5 buy you right now?
A candy bar.
Candy bar, right?
Like a drink.
Okay, I just want to see who, I want to give this away, so who wants this? I just want to see who wants it. Okay, who wants this $5?
Me.
Who wants this $5?
I want it.
That's selfish.
Who wants this $5? Nobody wants this $5?
I will come up and get that $5.
Nobody wants this $5?
Me. I mean,
Who wants it?
It's selfish.
I'm waiting. If you're not willing to take money, you're not willing to run a business. I'm waiting. Who wants this $5?
Go get it.
Okay.
That's favorite.
Give him a hand, guys. So, out of everybody in this room, only one person actually wanted the money. If you're not willing to get up and go grab it, that's a big lesson right there. While you guys are filling this out, Okay, at the top right of your page, put your name. I don't know what your name is. It's like Coco McGee or something. I don't know what you guys. You guys have weird names. You guys got some weird names now. When I was a kid, it's like Michael, Maria, and like my name. This is like Tristolane. I'm like, what? I don't know what this is. All right. So the guest speaker today was. This is my name. My last name is very.